what you do. You buy these clothes that cost me and make a difference in it. But we never do that.
Never complains, gets up, gets on, with a smile on his face.
You just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, every single day, without the truth. If you haven't seen it before, please watch the first two episodes, the second series.
We are on the site of the castle,
and it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
Hi everyone. Well, anyway, it's good evening. It's really good to see you. I've just got to go down to Steve Mulholland. He's a very good friend of mine. And he says something very interesting. He says, Frank, I tried to send you some messages last Friday, but they kept disappearing in the chat. Conspiracy. I don't know what happens, because there are people who are sending messages. Whether it's, I just don't know, Steve. I really don't, honestly. You know the way it is, freedom of speech. You can't say what you want to say nowadays. You can't say what you want to. Fucking head on me. Like the bob in it. Maybe slightly. Well, anyway, got to talk about Trump. Got to talk about that thing. Got it. Found my glasses, by the way, my reading glasses. Well, I didn't find them. I Francine had them. And she brought me them back before. And said, hey, Dad, I've got to go now. I've got to pick Sophie up. That was it. That was it. I've just got to put a thumbs up. Can I hang on a minute? Just hang on a sec. I've got to get this bloody date properly. For Monday. It's a Monday. I have to be here. Just put me. I'm awfully sorry about this. I sit in the house and I'm dead busy doing nothing. And all of a sudden I get messages. And I had an electrician down before. Lovely fellow. He's our Ben's mate. And he said, I'll get Ben a price. I said, no, just give me the price. I'll just pay it. That's no problem. Because I've got to get these things fixed. He's a lovely fella. Right, so let's get on to what you're saying. Besides, Steve, my eyes closing over this night. Closing over. here. Fucking say, I've got to get that done as well. Come mad. Simon, I frighten everyone in the chat. Last week I exposed the naivety and weakness of the Iranian regime for all their bluster. They have been severe. No, they haven't. That's where you're wrong. It's not in disarray. You know, we'll be talking about that in a moment. Simon, sorry to disagree with you there. Sorry. I think you're reading and looking at the Western media. Like Trump or not, he will force NATO kicking and screaming to it 5% GDP spending. Zelensky is now more isolated than ever, and even Lavrov offers only piecemeal support for the Iranians yesterday. Wrong again. I'm sorry. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. I'll tell you for why in a moment. Trump works off the art of the deal, and Iran aren't stupid to push things too far after what happened on Sunday. As for Israel, they overstepped the mark and publicly got the Zelensky treatment. We'll be talking about that. So that's where, believe it or not, that's it. You're contradicting yourself. Honestly. Don't shoot the messenger, as I said, Simon, please don't. I'm not. I'll just try and explain. Simon, up until now, a few days ago, I was worried that we would see another Iraq situation develop. However, Russia and China will ensure this won't. Oh, that's where you've got to spot on. I think these actions add pressure to stop the war in Ukraine. Very good. Very good. See? The lovely man. Hi, Frank and friends. Hiya, Myra. Hiya, sweetheart. Trump destroyed the credibility of the USA. Spot on. And himself, Myra. And himself. I read Stephen's Conspiracy. Christopher. Hi, Frank and everyone. Like and subscribe. Jordan and you know, to like and subscribe. Snapey, Barbara's got a sense. Oh, answer to that. Not even from me. I think you're right, Snapey. So he hasn't been on for a while. He comes on in a little slight digger, Frank. And his haircut. No, just haven't done anything with it, you know, as the girls say. Good evening, Frank and legends in the chat, says Johan, our lovely brother from another mother, shall we say. Because you know what we all are on here, but he's one of us. Did the electrician come as a show? Do you know what? He was a lovely fella. He's only a young fella. And he's our Ben's mate. And he's a cracking fella. All right. I thought he had a parachute on his back. The thing going back, full of tools and everything. He had rolls of cable and whatever. But he said, look, he said, this is all crap. He said, I could fix this, he said. But you'd have to get different. I said, just do it. He said, I'll have to go in here. I'll have to. I said, just do it. I said, I can't lift anything out. Unfortunately, I can't help you. He said, I'll get Ben down. That's me grandson. He said, I'll get him down. I said, great, because he's got to live something, you see. So, made up with him, to be honest, Snapey. Lovely fella. He never left his parachute, though. He'd be back on the 6th. That's what I just got a message on the 6th, which is a Monday. But I hope it's a day. The mince pie, Brittany coffee, even Frankie, even Tony. Hello, Myra. They're all letting on to one another. And Christopher, and Myra says hello. And yes, I order everyone to like and subscribe. Do it now. Not me, it's him, Christopher. He's a narc. He's a narc. Does anyone hear Trump's? I've never heard, honestly, a world leader, and I've been following world leaders for years, and I've never heard them come out with an expletive. Trump did. Fuck them. You don't know what to do. You don't say that. He's the president of the United States, for God's sake. See what's happened. He really thought that he could do regime change. So, and the biggest mistake, they're going to send in bombers. They got all the uranium out and they don't know where it is now. They knew where it was. That's why Iran always wanted a peace deal. But it's not America. You've got to understand it's not America who wants regime change. It's Israel. Because you've only got to ask yourself, what's Israel doing in fucking Syria? What are they doing there? You know what they want? They want from Israel, they want all that land, all Palestine. Get rid of them Gazians right through to the Dead Sea, the Black Sea, everywhere they want. All that land. You're getting the, the atheists, Jews I'm talking about, the Zionists, who don't believe in God, yet they believe what God says, this is your land. Can you grasp that? Can you grasp it? I can't. So anyway, Trump, he wanted regime change. He just wanted it, this regime change. And he's telling on a social network, social truth, what he's going to do. And what he said was a big, big mistake and red line. Red line. Do you know what it was? When he turned around. Now, don't forget, people, Muslims they're all, you've got the Shias, the Shiites, and you've got the Sunnis, right? So it's like Catholic and Protestant. I'm just talking about here, and I'm talking about Belfast and Glasgow, where there was terrible sectarianism. So it's like that, and that's what these were like. Even Saddam Hussein was a Sunni, and the Shiites hated him for being the leader. You see what I mean? They just hated him. Now you've got Trump saying there's going to be a regime change. And what they're doing, they're changing warfare. This is America. They're changing warfare. I'll tell you how they're changing it. They're going after scientists. They went after scientists, Iranian scientists, military leaders, assassinating them. There's no other word for it. They weren't like in a thing, you know, and bombs were falling. They were unfortunately killed. He said, "We're going to assassinate them," and then he came out boasting. He said, "Well, they're all dead now, aren't they? They're all dead." What leader comes out and says that? But once he turned around and said, "We're going after," the Ayatollah Khomeini, he's the spiritual leader. As I said, Muslims are Muslims, and they have like Sunni and Shiites, but they all respect the military. They all respect the spiritual leader. And once he said that, that was it. That was it. Because you had the different countries. Medvedev came out and said to me, "Oh, that's so. Okay. Well, I know countries that are willing to give nuclear missiles to Iran." Now you've got Russia and China going in to build their defences up. And what will be their defences? Because Trump came out and said, Medvedev said about nukes. What's he going to fucking do? He can't do anything. So who's going to give them nuclear weapons? I'll let you say that. And that's where he went, whoa. Because where's the first place to get a nuclear hit? Where is it? What country? It's not America. It's not France. It's not Germany. And they'll wipe it out with one fell swoop. They'll wipe it out, the country. I want you to tell me, where is it? And he's gone, whoa. Because this is what it's all about. And he's boxed himself into. He's a maverick. I really believe. I remember Myra saying to me, right at the start of all this, when he came into power, a week before he came into power, Myra Page said to me, "Frank, do you think he will stop this war in a day, like he said?" And what does he keep repeating? "Oh, this wouldn't have started with me. If I would have been president, this wouldn't have." Of course I fucking would, because he's a liar. He's a warmonger. It's been proved. Now he's gone, whoa. And he's trying to take, there is a ceasefire because those fucking Israelis gone, whoa, hang on a minute, because it's going through the dome, the Iron Dome, which is a myth now. It's a fallacy. These missiles, these supersonic, and that's what they've got. You've got thousands of them. They've only got to let them go, and Israel's gone, obliterated. And they know that. And that's why the Israelis wanted the Americans to come into it. But they fucked it up. Trump's fucked it up by bombing these places. And now they've all come out, haven't they, and said, we'll give them bombs, we'll give them nuclear weapons. No one knows you. No one knows what countries, but you can have a guess. You can have a guess. And once you start turning against your own people, I don't like this greasy fella, Peter Esket. I think he's a creep. Don't like him. But Trump turned against him, and he turned against another prat called Rubio. he turned against them and said, no, we're not, and take no notice of them, what they're saying. Because they were saying that this is just a one strike. And he turned, which disappointed me badly. And this is where now I don't trust any American politician, none of them. And it was Tulsi Gabbard, head of the intelligence. She came out and said in March, Iran has no nuclear weapon and they're not building one. We've got all the evidence here. She was at this congressional thing. She said it under oath. He come out and said, you know, because when he was being interviewed just before, he went over to bomb these nuclear facilities, which is a dangerous thing, by the way. It's not in the UN Charter. It's unlawful to do that. And he went against the old stupid constitution. You might as well rip that up. That's fucking worthless, that constitution. You know, some Americans, you know, if they're looking at it, they might go, what the fucking hell's this? You've got no constitution, fellas, girls, whatever. Because it's just being ripped up. By all the puppets. And a big puppet is Trump himself. If you can't get that through your head, so I'll see what you're being saying. You've been calling me for everything. Myra, yeah, I seen it. That's the when he said fuck. No one. I've seen world leaders for years, and I'm talking about world leaders who are, you know, tyrants. Okay, penny shade. What about that? Fucking executing all his the people who was demonstrating. Execute. But you know, I never heard him swear. Never heard anybody swear. None of them. No leader ever. Throughout the years of following politics. Shocking. Never heard W. Bush swear. That lunatic. Obama. Clinton. Never heard any of them. Even Biden, never heard him swear. Never heard any of them swear, but he came out and said, that's what kind of a fella he is. He's a bully, but he's fucked himself up. Because now what you've got in Iran is Russia and China. And they're building, what I mean by building the defences, I'm talking about fucking ballistic missiles that can't be shut down. Hypersonic. And I'm talking about hypersonic. They can't be shut down. You've got the Iskander there, the Russians, no one can shoot that down. And they've been just bombing fuck out of Ukraine. Hitting the targets they want. All precision. And as I said, the Iron Dome in Israel, you might as well, you know, when you're baking a cake with your mum or whoever, and you get your sieve, and you put the flour in, you go like that, getting all it. That's what it is. The sieve. Yes, I seen it, what Trump said. Disgusting. Oh, yeah. Johan, make Iran great again. Exactly. Iran had no compliance. excuse me, Netanyahu has been saying for over 30 years that they're a week away from making a fucking bomb. Do you understand? I'm not saying you understand. But do people understand? He's been saying it for fucking years. They just want to walk Lindsey Graham. What a fucking horrible prick he is. Just one horrible man. Barry. Because even if Frank and everyone, hope you're all well. Was well. Evening all, the truth shall set you free, says the black and white boy. That's a cracker, that. That's a cracker, that. Lovely, lovely, lovely. The black. Last week, Trump tweeting, threatening the Ayatollah with death. Yeah. If we did that, we'd be locked up. Yes. It's not that. I think that was the red line by every Muslim. Because he's the spiritual leader of all Muslims. And you don't do things like that. You get people, you know, when he was talking to Trump and he's got on the ticket of MAGA, you know, make America great again, and I'll bring peace, like what Myra said before, all that months ago, January. Do you think he will bring peace? Will he stop the war? And what he keeps repeating? He keeps repeating himself. This war wouldn't have started. Why doesn't he fucking finish it? Like that. Why doesn't he do that? So this is what you have. You have Trump coming in saying about peace and everything. And what peace is he giving? Nothing. Nothing. He's escalating. Now I know that he's gone to a NATO meeting. I think he went today, is it? And you get Zelensky. I don't know why fucking Zelensky's there. This is intimidating Russia, because Russia is there for two things. One, there's no way Russia will allow NATO to be in Ukraine on the doorstep. On the doorstep of Russia, Ukraine. There's no way. That's what it's all about. And the second thing is to denazify Ukraine, because they're still there. I watched a film, we'll get onto this. I took a screenshot of the synopsis. For fuck's sake. Yes. No. That's not it. Fuck's sake. I bet you have. Has it? Oh yeah, I've got it. It's called. Now I know about this. The story I'm talking about. I want you to read something. I mean, listen to something what I'm going to read. Should have had me sleep, shouldn't I? This is a true story of the world-renowned journalist and human rights activist Anna Politkovskaya. went from being a local print journalist to braving the Chechen killing fields and exposing the Russian state corruption under Vladimir Putin. She refused to give up the reporting on the war in Chechnya, despite numerous acts of intimidation and violence, including being poisoned. She was ultimately murdered in the elevator of her block of flats, and it remains unclear who paid. What's that telling you? As soon as I read that, I went, there we go. The corruption of Putin. True story. Because there was a journalist, but she, believe it or not, she was reporting in Chechnya. But what she wasn't really saying, and have a look at the film yourself. Have a look at it. The fucking propaganda is unbelievable. Have you noticed that that's 2 films that's come out this year about Putin? And I waited to the end. I do the credits, who was in it, the producers and everything. And I went, for fuck's sake, and the location, which was important. And I went, fuck. One of the producers was Sean Penn, the same prick who gave his Oscar to Zelensky. Remember that? He was one of the producers of this film. Total propaganda. But what she wasn't saying, what I've read at the time, was nothing about the bombings and terrorist acts in Moscow, the blowing up of a railway station, killing loads of people, going in Chechnya itself, into a school and killing over 300 kids, burning them alive, along with the teachers. None of that. Loads of atrocities were being committed by these Chechens. So anyway, as I said, I don't like propaganda. I really don't. Because propaganda's lies. Propaganda is lies. Do you know when the war started? Second World War. What did the British press call it? Look at this fucking thing up here. What did the British press, what did they call him? You know, besides Schicklgruber. They said that he was a painter and decorator, a little corporal. That's the propaganda. That's to give you, he's only a painter and decorator, and he was only a corporal in the army. You see, so that's their lies. It's just propaganda. You've only got to look at JFK. You've only got to look at JFK when he was assassinated. I was a young lad, very young lad. And I was going, oh, killed him. And then as you get older and you start studying yourself and whatever, it was because he was becoming friendly with Russia, the USSR, saying that we can work together, especially after the Cuban Missile Crisis. They didn't want that. They're communists. CIA. Fucking shut him in. They got shut him up. And this brings me back to today and about Trump and his campaign piece. And what happened, in one of his campaigns? He tried to kill him. Not once, but twice. So I think he's been got at. You want to fucking die? Well, you better start, doing what we want you to do. So someone's got at him. And you know who it is. And what's coming out now is that Mossad has been infiltrating the CIA, Congress, everything, all over the place. Mossad. And who do they belong to? Yeah, of course. Dangerous people in a dangerous world. And you only have Trump to blame himself. You only have Trump to blame himself. Now you've got those divvies in Brussels and in the Netherlands when they were having the NATO meeting. And there's von der Leyen saying, we're sticking by you. Okay, Vladimir. Would you want to send in this country? I've got 2 grandsons there and they're all conscription age. I don't think my daughter that sends her sons. As you send your son. It's different if we were threatened. It'll be different if we were threatened. Who's threatened us? This is what I keep saying to people. But we're threatening them. We fucking had to go at the Kersh Bridge. And they done nothing. Then we went, we're sending over Storm Shadows missiles to Zelensky, which they have done in the past. But now Putin has turned around and said, you'll have to work them. So that makes you complicit. That makes you complicit. You've got him and Macron wanting to send troops, and that's like boots on the ground into Odessa. That's why they're speeding towards Odessa now, the Russians. That's violate charters, believe it or not. You might think, well, they did it. They went in, as I said, to save the culture of Russia and Russia-speaking people in 4 oblasts. 4 oblasts. And they had referendums, and they all said, yeah, we want to be part of Russia, because if you're Russian speak, let's be honest, oh, fuck. I can't even give you an analogy. I'm just saying, if someone came here, a foreign power, and went, listen, do you want to be in our gang? You're going to go, fuck off, no. Well, if you're not going to be in our gang, we're going to suppress your language. We're going to suppress your culture. We're going to suppress your religion. We're going to suppress everything. You see? And there's something happening now where people in this country are going, hang on a fucking minute, what's happening? And we're not going to go into it because you should know. And they're going, our fucking culture's going. Our traditions are going. Our this is going. Our that's going. Our law's going. See what I mean? So that's what the Russian-speaking people of Donbass, Lugansk, Kherson, Zaporozhye, these oblasts, and they were being shelled. They were being fucking assassinated, shot. Does anybody ever remember? This is before the SMO, by the way. Oh, the press were getting all made up. Oh, look at this. What's going on over there in that Ukraine? Do you ever remember fellas being taped up with cling film to lampposts and people hitting them and doing horrible things to them? Does anybody ever remember that when it was all on the media? But they were Russian-speaking people. And because they were speaking out, they were being tied to lampposts all over the place. And I always remember the soldier, and they asked him why he was speaking Ukrainian. God knows what he said. He said he deserves it. He's a traitor. He's a traitor. And when it turned, I seen this like badge on his arm, and I went, "That's a broken swastika." Turns out that he was a fucking asshole. Broken swastikas. That's the symbol, a banderite. Then all of a sudden, and at the same time, you've only got to look at the press in 2017, 2018, and what were they saying about Ukraine is the most corrupt country in Europe. And they're fucking coming out now, finally, and saying, oh, they are corrupt. Well, where's Zelensky getting all this money from? And asking for more? I'm not saying that they're finally waking up. They already knew. They already knew. So what right has America got a regime change and these COVID operations and colour revolutions? The colour revolution is in Romania. Stopped elections. Fucking Brussels stopped elections because this fella who just wanted to serve his people rather than Ukraine, Romania. Then you have the likes of Georgia, colour revolutions there. Oh, what was her fucking name? Some American woman. She's saying, well, these people, they're not running it right. And they were giving out flags, paying demonstrators to come in from outside the country, giving them and paying them money to demonstrate with the EU flag. They're all like this, waving it, big flags. They're what you call NGOs, these non-government agencies. They're paid. I think that's who they're paid by. Yes, you guessed. This is what the other fella wanted to stop. Elon Musk. It's horrible what they fucking do. Let's see if anyone disagrees with it. Oh, Toscana, didn't see you there, sweetheart. Joe Franco and everyone, hope you're all well in these difficult compliments on your haircut. Snapey, listen to these people. Listen to these people. Thank you, Toscana. She's Italian and she knows what style is all about. Sleepy. Johan, Tulsi has lost all credibility and respect from me, she has. I loved it. Only a couple of weeks ago, before Trump thrashed her, and she came out and said, oh yeah, okay. Was the likes of, Colonel McGregor, him and her to be his running mate at the next presidential elections. So that's fucked it up. It's gone. It's gone for Tulsi. She should have walked. I said on someone's post, well, it wasn't a post, one of these. I said, I hope she walks away, I hope she resigns and comes out with the truth about this charlatan, Trump. She stayed with it. She said, okay. So you're right there, Johan. Great comment. At least nobody is talking about the anti-Trump protests now, says Chris. Bella Italia. Hi, Franco and everyone. Hey, Bella Italia. I don't know whether you are a ragazza or ragazzo. Let me know in the comments. Simon, Frank, does the IAEA holds any in February? They reported the production and accumulation of iron-rich uranium by Iran, the only non-nuclear weapon state to do so, adds the agency's concerned. No, but they've known about it for years. They've never made a bomb. You've got to have this stuff anyway to light up your country, to keep your country going. And they've been living in sanctions all the time. But now the Hormuz Straits, this is how pathetic it's gone. Oh, and Trump, he hasn't a clue. He told Rubio, get on the phone to Xi Jinping. Oh, what for, boss? Tell him to, ask Iran not to close the straits up. That's how. Last fucking week they were wanting to go to war with China. You see what I mean? You see how pathetic it's gone? So Simon, it's nuts, mate. It's confusing to say the least. Please, Simon, don't go on any of these fucking mad channels. I was watching the Daily Mail channel. Fucking hell. Oh, I'm talking about a fella going out and look what Zelensky and Ukraine is. Fuck. Pathetic. And people are believing it. Steve Malone. I would recommend after this show that everyone should watch the Jimmy Dore from last night. It's in super. Do you know what, Stephen? I was fuming about last week. I wanted to see Jimmy Dore. I would have got somewhat. I know it's only down the road from me, but I can't walk that far. I would have got a cab. I would have asked someone to run me down. Oh, fuming. Missed him. Now, Steve Malone, watch the Jimmy Dore show from last night. And as he said, it's in 2 parts. You've got to watch him. Jimmy Dore's a comedian, by the way. But he's brilliant. He's brilliant. And you know what? He's got Irish blood in him. Irish blood. Take notice of what Stephen says. Stephen's a good friend of mine. My analysis, says Simon, on the Iranian regime and comment Sergei Lavrov. I love Sergei Lavrov. He's the greatest diplomat. He really is, Simon. Taken from the views expressed by Professor Michael Clark. I want peace like anyone else and respect and debate we have on this podcast. Thank you. Thank you. Lavrov is absolutely brilliant, and he's kept his temper down because that's what kind of a diplomat he is. And I remember him being on I don't know whether it was Fox News or something like that, you know. And this woman, you know, incident kept interrupting him. And she repeated it, and he said, I've just told you. And if you let me finish what I'm saying, maybe it'll sink in. Brilliant, but very gentle. Is there any Russian journalist interviewing any Western leaders or Western diplomats or Western anything, any Russian? Not one. Not one. Not one in the Western hemisphere. And it's shocking. And this is what they're... Look, I keep saying this. I was called a Putin puppet, you know, the usual Putin puppet. You know what I mean? All this nonsense. Nonsense. You've only got to look at what's happening. Look, I was at Hillsborough, and the lies said about us. And it wasn't just the fucking current bomb. I hate saying that name. So you know what I mean, the truth. There was a few other papers, you know, as well, until they went, oh, no, I think we've got a fucking wrong here. And then just started backtracking. And then, oh, everything's all right now because, you know, they like us. Never fucking looked ever again at a British newspaper from 1989 because it's all bollocks. I'll fucking show you something, man. And I'm going back to last century. Not last century. I was born last century. I'm going back to the 19th century. And I should be doing it. I can read this and got my glasses on. And this is what it's all about. And I'm talking about propaganda. Okay. And it's from the 1855. Now remember when I've said that propaganda has been going on for centuries. Right? Watch this. Just bear with me on this. And this is from the Liverpool Herald, November 1855. We had 7 newspapers then, back then. 7 major newspapers. And it says here, let a stranger to Liverpool be taken through the streets that branch off from the Vauxhall Road, Marylebone, that's where I live, Marylebone, Whitechapel and North Ends of the Docks, and he will witness such a scene of filth and vice as we defy any person to parallel in any part of the world. The numberless whiskey shops crowded with drunken half-clad women, some were infants in their arms. From early dawn to midnight, thousands of children in rags with their features scarcely distinguished in consequences of cakes of dirt upon them, the stench of filth in every direction, men and women fighting the most horrible execrations and obscenities with oaths and curses that make the heart shudder. All these things would lead the spectator to suppose he was in a land of savages, where God was unknown and man was uncared for. And who are these wretches? Not English, but Irish papists are the filthiest beings in the habitual globe. They abound in dirt and vermin and have no care for anything but self-gratification that would degrade the brute creation, meaning the devil himself. He's the brute creation. Look at our police reports. Up 3/4 of the crime perpetrated in this large town is by Irish papists. They are the very dregs of society, steeped in the very lips in all manner of vice, from murder to pocket picking, and yet the citizens of Liverpool taxed to maintain the band of ruffians and their families in time of national distress. See what I mean? See what I mean about propaganda and how people believe it? And that was about the Irish. More? There's more? More. There are newspapers. But are we talking about that? What are we doing with the Irish question? All propaganda. Every bit of it. Oh, they're a bit. Don't forget to like, people. I'm a bit busy, Frank. I'll catch the replay. Frank, see you all next time. Oh, thanks, Redbird. Thanks, mate. And the Anfield Roar's brother got in touch last night. Made up that he's okay. Myra says, the situation between Iran and Israel has taken the focus off Gaza. They're still getting fucking killed by it as well, as you know. They're still getting blown to pieces. That's what I tried to explain last night. It's not like living day to day with the fear of death. It's living every second. Every second of a ticking clock or watch. Think about it, people. People sitting in fucking tents. Could be Israelis, the idea, coming around, just shooting them, looking through the tents and just fucking shoot. Or fucking missiles coming over, bombs and everything, blowing them up. So you're right, Myra. To be fair, Sean Penn saw Zelensky's unwavering dedication to propaganda and felt he deserved the Oscar more than him. You know, he says you can't keep it. You know, when you come over to Hollywood for the he wasn't invited, actually. He wasn't invited because, you know, to the Oscars, you know, to give a speech. I remember this city when he gave a fucking speech on the screen. I thought, fuck that. I'm painting the fucking things yellow and blue. It's fuming over it. Corrupt. Doesn't people know how corrupt he is? Don't they know how corrupt the man is? IBR. Top of the evening, Don Franco. Hope you're well, young chap. Yes. Thank you. I am not an Arab, Jew, Catholic or Protestant. I am a humanitarian, would like nothing more than to see the failing state of Israel's leaders held to it never happen. It will never, ever, ever happen. I couldn't believe. I like Viktor Orban, and he fucking invited him over, didn't he? Netanyahu, to his country. He stayed there for 4 fucking days. Couldn't believe it. I think he was talking to him rather than, I think he was saying, listen, you've got to fucking stop this, mate. Loose lips sink ships, World War II, saying, I think a lot of these leaders will do it. Yeah. Bellows tell you, yeah. Loose lips sink ships. Yet they were posters. Especially around the Liverpool Dockway. Loads of them. To the sailors. And in the First World War, people might know this, but in the First World War, Lloyd George went, fuck this, he said, people are getting drunk, sailors, like merchant seamen, and also the Royal Navy lads. So and they like the drink, so what we'll have to do is water down the drink. And that's why even me growing up, drink loads and I feel all right. Because they never put the volume back until, I think, the 70s. The volume back in the beer. They watered it down. That was under Lloyd George in, was it the 80s that they put it back? I think when the lager started, the import lager. So they said, fuck that, drinking that lager, our own lager out of the. So they started buying the lager. I've always drank Peroni. And if they can't have a Peroni, that's it, it's just something. Well, that's what I was thinking. Used to say, have a scotch. Oh, get drunk. I've seen Trump doing his Luciferian hand signs in public. So he's the perfect puppet for the ruling elite. IBR, you're so right. You're so right. I think they've said, you're going to end up dead, fella. Comply with us, son. And he's going, oh, okay. Someone, some comedian, I was looking at him, and he was not there for American. In America, somewhere on YouTube or so. And he was taking them off. And he went like that, the way he speaks. And he went like that. I'm going to bring in malaria now. Malaria! But it was not Milana, but malaria it was. You know what I mean? A take on malaria. And he got banned for everything. So you just love it. The sad fact is that Ukraine, Russia, USA and Iran have all broke the UN Charter under Chapter 7 and Article 5. Unfortunately, nothing will end without the US influence, whether we like it or not. Russia doesn't give a fuck about America. They'll never believe Trump again. China will never. You don't argue with them too. Military, look, military, America are fucked. They couldn't defeat the Houthis. They couldn't defeat them. Fellas on fucking bikes. The Taliban are still going well. America are snipes. I'm not talking about the ordinary Americans, by the way. But the politicians are snipes. They had a fella, that Gianni, whatever his fucking name is. He has a $10 million bounty on his head. Now he's fucking president of part of Syria. And he's just massacred a load of Christians. The other day, massacred them, executed them. With all the lies and propaganda against Bashar Assad and his regime. Until that was one of the things, one of the countries that America wanted to overthrow, regime change. And look who they've got in power. Turkey are there, Israel are there. What's fucking Israel doing? They took part of the Golan Heights, and that belonged to Syria. Bashar Assad was, well, fuck off, get out. He was telling the Americans for years to get out of his country. While they were stealing the oil. Still are today. It's fucking shocking what those Americans do, what they get up to. Can anyone tell me the last time they won a war? Oh, Trump said that they won the Second World War. Yeah, I know they fucking did. Vietnamese. Did they defeat them? Nope. And have you noticed, I mentioned JFK, if you go against that deep state, fucking God. Do you ever remember Nixon? Nixon went to China, he said, don't go to fucking China, don't like them. They're communists, but he went, nevertheless. And when he came back, he said, I want the boys out of Vietnam. This is Tricky Dicky Nixon. And he got them out of Vietnam. What happened to Tricky Dicky Nixon? Watergate. And he said, I know nothing about this. Watergate. And he had to leave. He had to resign. He was impeached and he had to resign. And I always remember a fella named Wallace, Senator Wallace. You know what I mean? Wallace. And he said, I want to know about And he went down to Area 51. They wouldn't let him in. I said, I want to tell the American people about these, no, that. Wanted to tell the American people. What happened to him? He warned him. Fucking shot him. Never killed him. He warned him. Have you said anything after the game? Nothing. There used to be this should be for the Saturday morning really, but there used to be a series called Dark Skies. And it was so near the knuckle, about an agency called Majestic. And they're still going today. Pull the plug on it. Boom. It's 2 stories, you see. It's great. Really good. Never trust America. Franco, at the judge line and cut and blood. Fuck off. Myra, will you have a go at these people, please? Christopher, where are you? You're not sticking up for me. Simon, IBR. Oh, your hair looks lovely, Jesus. Oh, for fuck's sake. I would have loved to have seen Jimmy Dore, so would I. So would I. He was coming on and saying I'm playing in Manchester, I'm playing in Liverpool. I thought, and this was only a few weeks ago, I thought, he's not coming over here now. Because he always goes around America. And I thought it'd be around September, October or so. And I was going to ask the next fella to go in. David Owens. I'm going to say, do you fancy going to see him, David? This fella's good. Whatever he says, take fucking notice. Of the EU nations accepting the Lisbon Treaty, Iceland, the only ones who hold a referendum in which the voters rejected it. The EU told them to hold another one. And guess what? The vote reversed and accepted by the treaty. There you go. The fucking EU. That's what they like. It did me with Simeone and Georgiescu in Romania. That was shocking. That was shocking. To put in a puppet. It's like Iran now. And who's there in the background is Rizzi or something like that. The son of the Shah who was dethroned in the 70s. And he's waiting. He came out, didn't he, and said, I'm going to make Iran great again. No fucking chance of him. That's it, the COVID operation to overthrow, as I said before, about getting rid of the Ayatollah. No fucking chance. No chance now. That was the regime change to kill him. Trump said it. He said it on his social truth forum. I'm going to kill him. Shall he be killed? I'm able to tell you. Franco, I only follow Professor Franco Clark, Professor Michael Clark, and Professor Matt Goodman. I respect your views, even though on this topic about we slightly disagree, firmly agree on UK and the EU. Say it's, obviously, people, they look at Iran. I'll say to you, Simon, what have they ever done to you? Was you afraid that they were going to build a nuclear bomb and they were going to fucking bomb us? Now, I don't know Clark or Goodman, to be honest. But if they're giving a ransom down the banks, that's just... But, you take your views, if you disagree with me, that's fine. I've never fall out with, never. Don't fall out with anyone. People fall out with me, though. For some reason. Sounds like one of my parties. Fucking nuts, honest to God. The deep state murdered only a few days after saying there are no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And you know what? I remember, wasn't it Jimmy Dore? Oh, what was it? I forget what it was. It could have, I tell you, it was a fella named Hinkle, fucking Pratt. I subscribed to him, I used to follow him. Until one day, out of the blue, he was talking about Iraq, not Iraq, I'm sorry, Ukraine. And out of the blue, like that, he said about our country. He said, and no one was mentioning anything about the country. And then he just came out the blue and said, oh yeah, he said, England, he said, that doesn't appeal to it. He said, it's just there. What would I want to go there for? To a nation of inbreds. Fuck off. Fucking had to go out. And it was a live show. No, it wasn't. I put a message on as well. I said, fuck you, you fucking inbreds. I said, have you watched the Hills of Eyes? What's going on? The fucking baseball check shirt, bib and brace brigade. Your lot. Calling us a nation of inbreds, you cheeky twat. Whether it was delivered or not, I don't know. But George Galloway, when I was watching him, he has him on, Jackson Hinkle. And I said, what are you having him on for? And it mentions what he called us. But fucking Galloway, fuck him as well. Having these prats on. But he has read out a few comments and belonging to me, Galloway. Really has. But I said to him, why have you got him on? Calling us, me, you, and everybody else, a nation of inbreds. Nothing there. Why would I want to go there? It's just there in the middle of an ocean. Fucking fuming it was. But you're right there, Stephen Mulholland. There wasn't. Oh, yeah, getting back to that. They couldn't do anything with Scott Ritter. They couldn't do anything with him. Because if they would have done him in, but Biden fucking did. It was terrible what they did to him in the Senate. Because he was the weapons inspector along with Hans Blix. And he said, there's none there. It's below your pay grade. To Scott Ritter, he humiliated him in the Senate. That's where Biden was a senator. He humiliated Scott Ritter, but they couldn't do anything. But they're harassing him now. He went over to Russia. He went to Chechnya first. He went to Chechnya, talking to the military there. Then he went to Russia. His wife actually is a Georgian. And anyway, he went to Russia. He was all around there talking to people and whatever. And when he got back, bang, they took his passport away. They said, "You're not fucking going to over there anymore." They took away his passport. And they went in. I'm talking of months ago. I'm sorry about this. This started again. And they went into his home and they took everything. And I'm talking from phones to computers to everything. And he went dead quiet. You know, you could see him how quiet he was about things. You could see the change. Then all of a sudden, one day, a couple of months ago, it just went like that. And he fucking on fire again. So he's back to normal, whatever's being done. But as I said, you know, he said there was no weapons of mass destruction or anything. But they couldn't assassinate him like they did with David Kelly. Steve. Very lucky. You are correct, Frank, but it's not just the newspapers that are, it's the 24-hour channel news that spout rubbish on behalf of their political and financial masters. Yes. Someone asked me genuinely, could you be bribed? And it was a genuine question. And I said, it depends. Bribe in what way? Bribes into saying, he said, you do podcasts, don't you? I said, yeah. He said, and I believe that you're doing like current affairs and like other social issues and whatever. But if someone gave you a load of money, said, listen, be nice about Stalin and be nice about Zelensky, and say that the Ukrainians are winning the war, would you? You know my fucking answer to that. I said, well, why did you ask me that? He said, but everyone's got a price. I said, you know what? I said, you mentioned podcasts. I said, I can go out. I was talking to this electrician today. And he said to me, do you know that you can buy subscriptions? I said, yeah. I said, but that's cheap. He said, but I'll get it. I said, it's cheap. I said, I have enough. And these people who subscribe to me are good people. I don't ask for anything. I don't want nothing. And for these podcasts, like, buy me a coffee and all this fucking crap. Super chat. Throwing your name up for a minute. Not even a minute, just putting us up. Don't even mention your name. And take it off again. These people they're giving money just to see the name up with a comment that doesn't get read out. And it's only up there. You couldn't even read it out yourself. It's up that quickly, and taken down that quickly. And Simon says, a country that does not fill its task in protecting the external borders has to cope with the consequences. Victor Obama. See, Why I think he's something that's in Yahoo, I was quite surprised. I was horrified, to be honest, because he doesn't give anything to Israel or anything. He doesn't give fuck all to Ukraine. Hates Zelensky. I think listen, you can't fucking keep going on like this. But Netanyahu has to, because if this stopped, he's in jail. He's going to die in jail because a leader can't go to court and be tried and sentenced if you're the leader of a country, this country. Michael says, with every day Israel is looking more like Gaza. Give it a week or two and Gaza freedom fighters may have a level playing ground. Do you know what? What's his fucking name? Klitschko. He said to Trump, come over and see our bombs out city, Kiev. As if fucking Trump's going to fly over there. He's away from Zelensky in Ukraine. Yeah, agree with you there. Totally. Simon, totally agree with the examples given. The USA only ever being interested in its own interests. If Pearl Harbor hadn't happened, we would be speaking German. I understand what you say. Pearl Harbor was allowed to happen. It was allowed to happen. Roosevelt knew, and he could have stopped it. I'll tell you what it was like. It was like the Falklands. Thatcher, she knew about it beforehand, and she said, no, let them go on. We need to. Her opinion in the opinion polls was so fucking low, the lowest of the low of any British Prime Minister at the time. So she allowed it to happen. So we sent an armada down. When Galtieri wanted to take over as well, he said, as Malvinas Island, which is the Falklands to us. So it happens all the time. It's like in the First World War when America, Churchill, he had the Lusitania song, Churchill. Not many people fucking know that. But he allowed the Lusitania to come in. They said, it's dangerous. There's fucking U-boats there. Allow them to come in. Because there was Americans on board and it was torpedoes and many people lost their lives. And the Yanks still didn't come in. And that's Churchill. He allowed that. The Lusitania. Sad thing is that the Americans didn't come in the war. Do you know why? So I'll tell you why. They didn't come into the war. First World War. Because they were cornering the market at the time. There was no other competitor. They were just fucking getting everything. Whoa. And they cornered the market. Came into the war for 10, 11 months. That was it. He won that war as well, he said. Fucking amazing. They like to win wars that they haven't fucking been in or won. IBR, the new Iranian puppets will build back better. 666 equals 666. No, it's not. There's not going to be a regime change now. That's all being kicked into touch. That's being kicked into touch. Trump, he's fucked himself up. going for him for regime change until they all turned around and said, you better fucking not. I'm sorry for it, you know, it goes through fucking everywhere. Reza Pahlavi, that's the, thanks Johan. The son of the Shah embraced American strikes on Iran. Yes, he did. This guy is a puppet just like his father. Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, he is. And what he was saying, I was listening to an interview he's having, and he said, the people of Iran are oppressed. Now, I've said on here before about Iran, I stream places, and I streamed Iran. And you want to see, especially Tehran in Iran. I say, good job I don't drink. But anyway, and it took me by surprise. Beautiful. Absolutely. All the shops. You know, from the likes of Prada and Gucci. Unbelievable. Giorgio Armani. All the Italians there. The French were there. Everywhere. All the big shops. And the coffee bars, they made coffee bars. You should have seen them. Not like walking into a cafe here and going there, can I have a cup of tea, please? Beautiful. But the young, and I'm talking about, like, say elderly teenagers, 18, 19, and the 20-odd-year-olds all mingling together. They all had the finest gear. The girls flowing black hair. None of these fucking things up here or whatever. But you did see women with them on, because it's not compulsory to the belief that you think that they are. And it's not compulsory. And this was just what you call it, an independent journalist just going around. And he was talking to these people, young people, saying, oh, if I want to wear it, I'll wear it, but I don't want to wear it. You know, the thing. So it's just a matter, really, isn't it, of having, shall I say, belief. You know, they are Muslim. They do follow their beliefs. I remember going to the Vatican. I know where I'm at. Coordination. See that? There, look. That's a rosary beads there. Blessed by Pope Francis II. For poor Frank when he was ill. Still am. Well, I went not to get them. They were given to me by a lady. Anyway, and you know, the girls have to cover their heads, and if they wear like very short, like shorts, and you know, you're on your holidays, and or short skirts, you'd have to put. And you should have seen the people who were respecting. You know, the market sell, you know, people with stores, yeah, can they have that skirt, you know, down to your calves or ankles, whatever, and scarves going in. That's what it's all about. And you come out and you take them off. The one I was with, she did it. and went back to the stove, took the thing off of its ear. She said, oh, no. She said, no, I don't want the money, no. No. So you see, and I ran, as I said, it surprised me. But it wasn't only in Tehran, I went to other places. Fantastic. Just ordinary people. With heavy sanctions on them. Like Russia, sanctions on them. Fucking nuts. Simon, today, I agree. But that's why the EU has so much influence on the soft belly countries such as Ireland. However, they have met their match in Orban, who justifies everything they try to force on them. But you've got Slovakia as well, you know. I agree with you there. I totally agree with you. He did murder Robin Cook. He's a very, very fit man. Very fit man was Robin Cook. Outspoken, which we want them to be. The likes of David Kelly, Dr. David Kelly. And I always remember when he found dead and they were talking to a witness. Like a few days, he said, I went for my walk. He said, I'd seen David, and he said, good morning, and good morning. He said, we said something about next week, like a little meeting, residents. And now he's dead, committed suicide, and he was shot up, the fella. It was on the ITV News, never forget that. I'm awfully sorry about this. I'll be off to Simon. The EU is becoming far fascist with each passing day. Yeah, of course it. They've always been like that. Have a look at the fucking backgrounds of Kaya Kallas, von der Leyen, Baerbock. Fucking hell. And this other prat, forget her name. She's just fucking come on the scene. Have a look at their backgrounds. Where they came. I meant to tell you about that words of war and that propaganda against Putin. When you see it and you go right to the end and watch, and all of a sudden, it just say, if you haven't a fucking clue about Putin, please just have a look. And you read the synopsis, you're looking at this fucking horrible film, and then all of a sudden at the end, they're talking about 1,600 journalists being killed. Right? 1,600, fucking hell. And you see all pictures of them. And you see them, like going, not them all, not the 1,000, but picking a few out. Like the Khashoggi, for example, who was butchered, chopped up, and given to dogs. And in Egypt, in the Saudi embassy. Remember when they blamed the Crown Prince? Remember that? He has this picture, and you just see like flames, burning them out. Then other pictures. And theirs was the last. Theirs was the very last. This is at the very end. This is the very last. The journalist who who the film was about. Paint company. And then you just see her vanishing, burn, and you see Putin's face. It's like smoke, like smoke coming from the burning of the pictures. And you see Putin's face like that. It's a drawing of him. So if you think for 1 minute, if no one knows anything about him, and we're saying 1,600, and they're showing him as an evil man right at the death of the film, you go, fuck it, he's killed all men. See what I mean? See what I mean? It was shocking. Words of war. This year. And all this, I put it on like, oh, shit. And Maxine Peake was playing the girl. The journalist who was murdered. Great actress, Maxine Peake. Now, it's based in Russia. Have a guess where it was filmed? I had to get it. I had to say, where the fuck was this filmed? Because you see the snow and everything, real snow, not fucking false snow. Karen Hines, Jason Isaacs. I know Jason Isaacs. He was in it. Great actors. Maxine Peake. I'm gonna go to Chechnya. I'm gonna see what's going on. Fucking Lancashire accent. Karen Hines. Great Karen Hines, great Irish actor. And he said, I want to see her there. I said, I'm a boss, because she's in hospital, poison. I'm a boss. Let's get her out of here. Do you remember Navalny? And he was poisoned, and the script was poisoned. Remember? What was he poisoned with? Of a shock that they haven't had for years. They don't make it. Where's his face down the road from fucking Shrewsbury? Where it's happened? You must take for fucking pig. And what did they say they were poisoned with? I'll leave it up to you if you're there and watch. Frank, do you agree with the handover of Hong Kong in 1997? And do you think Gibraltar and the Falklands should be? Yeah. Fucking colonialism. Listen, we didn't go into the Falklands, just there's actually Argentinians. Did you hear about what happened to them, by the way? When they sent the Armada down, and after they left, what was happening to them? Discriminated against. Fucking shocking what was happening to them. I'm not going to explain what was happening. But it never ever came out. Yeah. Yeah, they do, Barry. What the fuck have we got Gibraltar for? And do you know that this date's been going on for fucking years about handing it over? It's a land. Suppose Germany, right, or even Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, had the likes of Cornwall, excuse me, the likes of Cornwall, do you think for 1 minute that we wouldn't want it back? And we wouldn't go to war over it? Now, if they all came to Liverpool, which they are, they wouldn't give a fuck. They wouldn't fight for us. They wouldn't go to war over us, Liverpool. But they would over Cornwall. Do you understand? I'm always being facetious when I said Liverpool. But it's the way it is. Look at Scotland. They want to fucking get out. Scottish people want to get out. Fuck England and Parliament, and they're ruling us. They're fucking ruling, always ruling us. Because we've got no say in the matter. We can vote them in and vote them out. But that's democracy. Fucking democracy. It's a joke. Democracy's a joke. Always remember, I think it's one of the lads said about, I'm not a Catholic Protestant, I'm a humanitarian. And it's just like that great quote, if you feel pain, you're alive. If you feel other people's pain, you're a human being. Cats fight cats, dogs fight dogs, rats fight rats, and people fight people. Nature imperfectly natural. Well, it is. We've always thought. I always remember watching a film called. It's one of the great films ever made, and it was The Space Odyssey 2001, and it's the start of like these like monkey type people that we descended from with a bone. You see a bone, you know, like eating a carcass or something in a bone. And one of them attacks another one, and he go fuck off. So, and he goes, he's looking at the fucking thing and runs over and fuck off again. That was your first weapon, a bone. Now we've got nuclear weapons. Hypersonic. Not with one warhead, but 14 on it. And when it goes, it just goes, and it spreads. Hitting all over places. The warheads. And it just leaves that other one, the other 13, going everywhere. That just weapons of mass destruction. What's the only country in the world that's dropped them? Guess that right. But they never dropped one, they dropped fucking two. They wanted to drop more. They wanted to obliterate Japan. Someone once said, why hasn't North Korea been attacked? I mean, verbally. They've been attacked economically because of sanctions and whatever. But they can't say too fucking much because they've got nuclear weapons. Who'd be the first to get it? There's two places. Obviously, South Korea is one of them. But this new fella, and in Japan as well, they're having dates out with them, you know, with Kim Jong-un. They're having talks with him, unknown before. But as I said, it's South Korea, you know, gone. And the other place, I think it is Guam. It is Guam. One fucking missile is on that island. Do you know why? Because that's where all the Americans are. It's one of the biggest bases. They say, well, fuck it, have you? Oh, my little mate, come on. Free Palestine, yes. Oh, lovely Bella. In war, there is no glory, just death. Do you know what I had to read once? And I never had to read it, I read it. It took me 18 months, you know. It wasn't Einstein. Couldn't even fucking understand that. But I read it, you know, putting it down, reading it, putting it down. Brought us on holiday once. And this fella looked at me and went, you reading that? I went, no. I just brought it with me to keep me warm. Fucking idiots. I'm horrible, you know. You reading that? Anyway, I brought it with me and I was, fucking hell. And it was War and Peace, Leo Tolstoy. It took me about 18 months, honestly. You lose yourself though, that's the problem. You get lost in it. You get lost in it. Got a couple of great films to tell you about Saturday morning. If you can wait that long. Saturday morning. The film and TV. Getting this fella in as well. Getting him in. Getting a paranormal fella. Going to get David Owens in as well. It's nuts, isn't it? You know, when you were just talking about death. We're talking about death, people. Constantly. And what do we do? We just have to go along. Try and follow a fellow by the name of Alex Christopher. He just walks about of a day. And he gives you the news. He's brilliant. Alex Christopher. From the Duran. I was listening to Try and Watch It. And it was about propaganda. And how propaganda is forced upon journalists. And there was an interview by Tucker Carlson and Clayton Morris. Brilliant it was. Both of them used to work for the Fox News. Just fucking walked away. Oh, fuck you. Walked away because they didn't want to, you know, regurgitate. What the fuck's this? They knew it was lies. And what you're seeing today on the likes of these news channels, these are coming out saying that. You've only got to look at that Lindsey Graham. He's never off fucking Fox News or CNN or whatever the fucking are over there. Just coming out with his evil speech against every fucking one, against Iran. He's saying we're keeping the country safe. Is it fucking right? Keeping the America. Then he has to come out and say, and Europe. I've never fucking known Iran to come out and threaten fucking America or Europe. But the underlying belly is this. Telling you. Do you know if they was gone after the spiritual leader? I'll tell you what would have happened. You would have had cells all over Europe. They've got fucking cells all over Europe, including me. And what would have happened? I'll let you come to your own conclusion. Do you know what I was watching? It just came up on YouTube. And I didn't even know this. Never had a fucking clue. And this was actually filmed by someone. And it happened last October on the steps of Lime Street Station. You know, when you come out into Lime Street from, the station, the steps. And this girl was sitting there, student, young girl. Only a petite young girl, student. And this fucking fella was dragging her, trying to kidnap her. And she was screaming. She was like, get off, get help, get off. And there was two pensioners. They were there, they fucking stopped him. And he went into Lime Street, dragging her. They followed him, called the police. This policeman came. And I'll just put it this way. If that was have been me, getting locked up, dragging this girl, what was he kidnapping her for? Or what was I be kidnapping her for? I'd be kidnapping her for something, wouldn't I? Wasn't to take her for a fucking McDonald's or a Kentucky Fried. Or do you fancy a berry? Anyway, this fella went to court and got fucking 18 months. If it would have been me, I would have been in fucking jail for about 20 years. So I'll leave it up to you, at your discretion. Did anyone see it? First time I seen it, because I don't read the Echo or anything. Go, Frank. Got to replace my screen protector. Night, everyone. Up the title winning red. Thank you. Thank you, Christopher. Oh, you've well gone, mate. Thank you for joining us. Putin asked Clinton if Russia could join NATO. And yeah, Clinton initially said, I don't see why not, but after talking to his handlers, he went back to Putin and said, it's not possible. Russia never started this. And he did ask Bill Clinton, Yo, have a good night, legends. To Chris. Nice. Simon. Frank, Iran is a lovely country, but the regime has blood on its hands, over 530 deaths for those who oppose the repressive. Well, I've just told you. Come on. Please. stream it. I'm not telling you lies, I'm not exaggerating, stream selling. For those who oppose repressive hijab laws, it needs called out. Most notable, Mahsa Amini's death. Rest in peace. There's been loads of deaths that you're unaware of. Loads. In deaths here. All over Europe. And Marie Colvin, she was put up on that, the last, on that film. I went, do you think Putin's killed her? King girl. She killed in Syria, by the way. Trump killed her. The Irish genius. Barry. I agree with you. Just wondered why the hell we bother trying. The earthquakes were recorded at the locations where the US bombed, and I fear directed energy weapons are being used. Of course. That's why he's made the fucking mistake. But there's been no radiation detected. So he's lucky in that. But they don't know where the uranium is now. They knew where it was at. It's fucking there, just like the big nuclear bombers in Russia that the fucking stupid NATO went in of the British. But fucking Putin warns us, Starmer. That fucking lammy, did you hear him? Fucking going to war and that, going to fucking war with Russia. People fucking believe that the fucking. Why haven't they been? Well, they've been there for 3 years. Why haven't they taken it? They're fucking getting shut at all the Ukrainians. That's why. Try and look up war of attrition, what it means. That's all. But you're right there, IBR. Earthquakes, tsunamis. Regime failings in Iran encompass a range of issues, including economic mismanagement, human rights abuses, and corruption. Yes, Iran hasn't armed me, but I pray for the decent people in Iran. They're all fucking decent, mate. Look, if you've done any harm to anyone, honestly, if you've done any harm to anyone, you go to fucking jail. I do about a murder, and this fella was hanged when capital punishment was going on. Even in my lifetime, he was hanged. There was 2 other lads fucking hanged. 2 lads together. Because they wanted them out the way. One cop. Wanted them out the way. Get fucking shot at that. Set them up. So it's not just there, And people, so you're a Liverpool supporter, and you've got people going like, we don't want our money, we don't fucking want our money. I like saying to them, have a look at our sponsors on the shirt. If they fucking sponsor. as well, besides LFC. Couldn't oil money, Jesus Christ. And that was all because of Manchester City. Jealousy. Hate fucking jealousy. I've had enough jealousy in my lifetime. If I had a bucket and I had to throw up every fucking day of my life because of jealousy, I could fill the Atlantic Ocean. I'm telling you now. I fucking hate jealousy. We will have to discuss Moore's X and Gillette when you get a chance as well. What I will do, I'm telling you, I'm doing a history show on Thursday. And at the beginning, I didn't want to do it tonight but I'll definitely tell you at the beginning. I have done this before, by the way, Simon, about the X and Gillette and Moors and Sheikh Maktoum of Dubai, DIC. So what I'll do is at the beginning. Is that okay? Then I'll carry on with I'm talking about the Italians and the Irish on Thursday. So I'll do it in the first 10 minutes. Is that okay? And carry on with my history. Notte fantastica ancora una volta. Grazie mille. Bella Italia. Grazie. Thank you. Take care, everyone. Myra, lovely Myra. Don't forget, I'll be having the same on Friday. Same on Friday. I've got it. I might have to go in for an operation. Got it. I got me a telephone consultation today. They might be operating on my spine, spinal cord, and my colon. Spinal column. Forgot to tell you at the beginning, because I did promise I'd tell you. But anyway, I don't know whether it's a good message. It's a good message or what. I just don't know. Another interesting debate. Thank you. And the guys for another great show, says Simon. Thank you for reading my messages. And although we might not agree on everything, we respect, of course. And that means, of course. That's why, you mentioned Lavrov, Sergei Lavrov. He respects everybody. The greatest diplomat, honestly. And everybody says. The Iron Law of Oligarchy, Michael's 1911, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts, absolutely. Yes. Yes. I remember reading something about Nikola Tesla. I forget the title of it. Hates all these politicians, corrupt liars, a lot of them, says Barry Albert. Yes, Barry. 100%. Callum, absolutely. Absolutely, Callum. Simon, jealous souls will not be answered. So, hang on. Jealous souls will not be answered. So, they are not ever jealous for the cause, but jealous for they are jealous of fellow. Was jealousy one of the greatest Iago in that play? Fucking hell. Zelensky. That's crack of that. Thanks, Simon, for the quote. Frank, we have similar people on our fan base. We don't want oil money. I tell them, look who's where's going by. Florida Jews who donate money to Israel and tax dodging chemical terrorists. Yeah. Fucking, they haven't a fucking clue. Don't having a clue. Like our sponsors. It's incredible. Fucking hell. We don't want oil money. You and I are the same. I love her. I'm going to end on one beautiful Toscana's comment. Love your pod, Frank. You always reply or react to everyone's messages, says Barry. Thank you. I try to. The way I look at it, Barry, is this. Honestly, you know, people, you know, they type out. Why did I do that? They type out. They're taking the time to type out. So why can't I read? That's why I've got my glasses on. My readies. Because, you know, if I have my, you know, my distant ones, let's see. Grazie, Franco. I've been multitasking, listening to you and learning and editing photos. It's also very interesting reading people's views. Of course, that's what I want. I've got Simon there. He said, hey, fuck off, Frank. You know, I'm not agreeing with you. I don't mind that. I really don't mind that. Honest to God. Honest to God. I've just dropped my mouse. I don't mind it, honest to God. My ears just gone all funny, you know, bending down. But anyway, but it's true. It's, you know, I want to read out. You take your time to write something, surely to God, and they're all good comments. Whether you agree, disagree, or whatever. We've got Johan, a Manchester United fan, and he comes on here because he likes the content, not because of me or, you know, this could be any other pod around the world. You like the content, yeah. What's going on? Doesn't have to be me. It'll be most words. More falling on the floor. So that's it, you know, Toscana. That's a great comment he gave, by the way. And reading other people's views. Frank, don't worry, your house was promised to them 3,000 years ago. I love that. That's what I mean. And these are atheists. put God's promise in them. Oh, fuck's sake. You can't make things up. You can't make things up, can you? Simon, Franco, you will get a good sleep tonight. Did you get small? But do you know what? I was only saying to our Francine, I've been sleeping great, you know. Maybe my body, my mind, I got frightened about the Bushmills. See, to be honest, I'd hate to mix with these bucket tablets to take it out. I wouldn't like to mix. I was only talking to this lady today who's telling me about what I had. And she had the list of medication I was taking. And she said, you're on them for life, aren't you? You know, the special, just the one tablet. I said, yeah. So I'm terrified just in case I'm telling you. So yeah, Simon, honestly, and thanks for introducing Bella Italia. It was lovely of you, that. Have they subscribed to the channel? I don't like to ask you, say, but I don't know whether Bella Italia is male or female. That's why I asked. Ragazza or ragazza. Franco, you're a legend. Good night, and I love the bus. Keeps me on my toes. You're a good man. You're a good man. Simon, it's banter on your shows. You look a lot better and seems happier in yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Do you know what it is? I'm telling you now. You know, sleeping. I really have been sleeping well. I always said that to Francie. Went to bed last night at 5 to 12, midnight. You know. Jumped in bed, yawned, and fell asleep. Put the light off and gone. And I woke up at quarter to 8 this morning. But I was running around like a fucking lunatic yesterday. With my daughter Francie. Well, I wasn't running. Are you all right, Dad? Don't walk so fast. I don't know where I am. And thank you for that, Simon. Appreciate it. Got relations down south who want to come to Liverpool. I'll pick you up and drag you around so you can get. Yeah, okay. Tell me when. Someday, is it? Tell me when. No problem. No problem, honestly. Do that. I'll tell you where to go. Stop here. Show you a few things. You'll be very surprised. Simon. Franco, no worries. She is a female and so. Oh, thank you. See, I should have realised, you know, when she said Bella Italia, and Bello, you know, if it would have been Bello, But I thought, like, he might just put that in, Bella. Bellis, tell her thank you. I really appreciate it. We Italians have to stick together, tell her. And Toscana. Tell us, Joel, I'll be talking about the Italians coming to Liverpool. My family. See, I'm scratching my head now. Always scratching my head, aren't I? Frank's one of the best people I've ever talked to, and he's on the right side of this. This is beautiful. Oh, thank you, Callum. That's lovely, that. I knew there was a caveat coming up somewhere. Apart when he rages at Robertson. He's going handy, isn't he? I've never forgotten players. Oh yeah, look, lads. And I've asked this before. I gave. Shall I do this on there? No, I'll tell you now. Well, I gave nights. I used to feel sorry for the ex-players because they got fuck up. I started all that. Now, if you look at his name carefully, you can see his autograph, the 6. And I did a night for I did loads of nights, by the way. And Tommy just went up to me and brought to me. It was horrible. And he just rested on this counter sort of thing before he walked into them. I said, Tommy, do us a favour, mate. I said, put your autograph. On this. And he struggled. And I couldn't say it. Struggled. So, Tom Smith. If anyone wants, let me know. The 2 autographs. They're 2 great people. Johan, take care, Frank and Legends. Have a good night. Are we doing a football show on Thursday? No, it's not. Johan, it's about people coming into Liverpool. And there'll be other things. I'm just saying one thing about football, and that was why Hicks and Gillette was taken over. And it is a powerful story. It might interest you, actually, Johan. It might interest you, albeit you're a United fan. Be interested. Barry. See you Thursday, Frank. Get Francine to where you go. You'll sleep right. I've got to go with it on Thursday. I'll let you know on Thursday what it's all about. And you'll go, oh, what great, Frank, for your daughter. I want to be bribed. That's a good shirt, that though, Barry. I'll be able to hear sleeping and get over well Thursday. Can't. Yeah, his legs are going, unfortunately. They've been going for 2 years, Callum, honestly. I love Robbo. Yeah, you know, him and Trent. But I think he's done a snidey thing, you know. When he signed for Trent's brother as agent, got rid of his own agent. That was fucking shocking, man. His own agent brought him from obscurity, fucking hell, to Liverpool. Got rid of him. Think about it. Lovely Toscana. Those players are legends and us fans. Do you want them, Toscana? Do you want them? Get your address from somewhere. I'll send you them. You're a red. The coordination is terrible, you know. The autographs. No one's mentioned them. So if you want them, let me know, Toscana, you know. And I'll write you a note. And Callum, has anything about NATO's meeting been said? Only a little. Fucking Zelensky was there, was it? What the fuck is it? See, Russia are going mad. What the fuck is he doing at NATO? He's been warned. But they're intimidating Russia. Johan. History lies even better. Thank you. Thank you. Bella the time. Oh. Le mi preghiere sono sempre con te per la tua operazione. That's lovely, that. So you're with me with the when I get the operation. And if ever you're ever up, I'll be with you. Bella the duck. Even though I scratched this. Callum. Zelensky is like a dog panting for. I'm glad you said panting for water there. I thought he was going to come out with something else there. Callum. He's going to get none of it. Yes. That'll be great. We'll go well with my King Kenny Gerrard and Jerry Marsden. Oh, go away. Oh, brilliant. All displayed so whoever comes can see them. Oh, but the only problem is, I'll tell you what I'll do with you. So that you can show Tommy's. At the end of the, you know, have you got them on frames or anything? Because with Tommy's one being on the back, I couldn't say, like, you know, turn it over. I just left it to, fucking hell. I had a lad name, he plays at the Callan, he's resident, great Paul Capper. Great. And I had him on that night. And he was playing. He was just playing. And the next, Tommy Lawrence was already sitting down. And he was just playing, Paul, you know, with his band. And the next, I brought Tommy in. And his daughter, you know, and we bringing him in. And the rendition of You Never Walk Alone, clapper plate, fucking unbelievable. Oh, it was fantastic. And then you just see Tommy, and Tommy Lawrence got up from his chair, he was old, and Tommy was what? And when they embraced fucking and the emotion, just thinking about it now got all goosey. Beautiful words. I love it, Tommy. Parole. Fantastic. I'm thinking this has turned into the Alan Parsons show. Who's Alan Parsons? Do you mean the Alan Partridge show? Think what you like here, Mike, but it's not. If you don't like it, it was a bit mean, that, like. These are good people on here. Never forget that. Anyway, I'm leaving and I'm going. And I'll see you all on, if you know, whatever, on Thursday, talking about us Italians and you Irish. Okay. So we'll see you all on Thursday. Hopefully, whoever joins us. And it's just for me. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, keeping me company. Thank you to Jason Pennington for setting everything up. I'll definitely be having these up in the next week or two. And a paranormal person, a friend of mine, he's fucking good. He used to frighten me. And thank you so much. I'll see you Thursday, hopefully. Mille grazie. Ciao bella tutti. Ciao bella.